just as I said earlier, we are a human rights organization, women-led, and our main focus is on gender-based violence, all forms of gender-based violence. So Amua Mama is really on the backbone to eradicate, or rather to reduce the cases of violence that incur in our community. Yes.
Now, when we talk about gender-based violence, and we've had a lot of cases about femicide, many people think of it as it is violence against women only. And many people also think it is about killing of the women only. What are the perimeters that gender-based violence encompasses? We have never seen men coming out, organization coming out to defend men when it comes to gender-based violence, but we know that men are also being abused.
Yes.
Yeah, so what is it that you people are doing as the activists, as people who champion for gender-based violence, doing in regards to what concerns men?
Thank you. First of all, Isaiah, the term gender is inclusive. It's inclusive to both men and women. So when we say we advocate against gender-based violence, it's inclusive to both men and women. So anybody who has been violated and victimized, a man or a woman, a human rights defender has to come in to defend whatever kind of violence that has been perpetrated against that person. So Amua Mama is a women-led organization, but as you've said that you've not met organizations that have come out to defend men on probably on camera or before other people. There are. It's only that there's a difference between violence that are being perpetrated in men. We know that men are egoistic in nature, and they don't really come out as women and children. Yes, and women and children are usually termed as the weaker sex. So their violations are usually weighed more than men, because you find that most of our perpetrators are usually male chapters, and it is in rare cases that you find women being perpetrators. And if you find a woman is a perpetrator, the perpetration has been done to a child and not a man.
Now, I've been wondering, we are within the 16 days of activism against gender-based violence. What are the modes of operations? What are the strategies you people are putting in place to help curb this? Because it is more than just going outside there, doing a walk in the town of Migori, in different towns, and getting back to sit. How are we going to curb this? Because we've learned that from the report, from the United Nations report, this happens within the family setup.
Yes.
And it happens mostly within the relatives. What are we going to do? Like, have you come up with ideas to find out what are the causes of gender-based violence?
Yes. Within my experience that I've had working with the community, within the 16 days of gender-based violence, which did not start maybe 2 years or 1 year, it started way back with the UN women who went to Beijing and set up 16 days. And these 16 days are not just set up for demonstrations or maybe to just sit. We have 16 days of different activities. So different organizations have different activities within these 16 days. You find that some of our organizations are good at advocacy. So they will go out and advocate and tell the community about teach the community about violence, the badness of violence, and also within the 16 days we have education. So we will educate, we will sensitize. That's how we are going to try and bring these people together, because when we go out to the community, we will find different sets of families in one place, maybe in the marketplace. Maybe we organize a community engagement at a police setup, or maybe barazas where we will find different setup of families, and one or two families will get something and go back and disseminate the same information. So within the 16 days we have a lot of programs set up. Yes.
Okay. Just for clarification purposes, I've been talking to people about gender-based violence, and what they're saying is it is more than what is seen outside.
Yes.
It is more than what is brought to the general public. Before a fight begins, there are causes of those fights.
Yes.
Like in, I want to take this scenario. We live in a society whereby people have what they believe in and what they want to be done. If this is not met, then this brings out this. Like you find out where we live. I was giving a scenario before we move into the set. We learned that you find that today the married couples, the life is not as it was in the past 20 years.
True.
There is no jobs. So you find that, for example, a lady has an expectations that has to be met. And most probably the person is living with as a husband does not have a job, a well-paying job. Maybe this guy is just doing kamjengo work, which at the end of the day comes back in the house with 600 shillings at least. And he needs to buy food, he needs to do the clothing, he needs to do the general, because this amount of money cannot be enough. While a lady wants her hair be done maybe weekly, and the man is not able to provide this. And these are the causes of gender-based violence to some extent. And also the media. What we see in the media, you see people flattering, people giving information which are not real, which we tend to adapt to without knowing the cause of this. They say these are some of the causes of gender-based violence. Now, as an activist, can you clarify a bit, maybe, if you have an idea of some of the causes that leads to gender-based violence in our society?
Okay, gender-based violence, as we said earlier, is wide. But if we narrow it down to the society setup or family setup, we have a lot of causes that escalate maybe later from a child, will escalate later to violence. Some of the causes will be poverty, you know, the state of living of maybe a family. And you know, wherever there is that word, there is lack of money, there is lack of maybe good sanitation, there is lack of education. You see, there is lack of exposure. So you are confined in a community where you have your beliefs, and your beliefs do not extend because you don't have exposure. You don't see how other communities do it. Then when you grow up, you want to get married, you have to be exposed to another community. You want to bring your norms in this family, and that's violence, you know. So there are different forms. You find that there is also mental issues. Stress brings about violence, you know. And you know, violence is not only on physical aspect, that you have to batter someone until maybe their face or maybe their body is disfigured. We also have mental violence. You know, we have mental violence, we have financial violence. These are lots of issues that are brought out by so many different ways. And most of these people, most of these perpetrators, maybe when you get them to a counseling room, you find that this is something that started when he or she was a child. You see? So violence, the causes of violence, the most cause will be poverty, mental health issues, and you know, just as I said, when we talk of poverty, there is lack of education,
Yeah.
yes, and now name them. Yes.
Now, on Monday, we realized that in Migori County, where we are, FGM is still practiced in
Yes.
some society, and it has posed a great challenge because we know that it is against human right
Yes.
for the female gender to be mutilated. But this has been happening. What are the challenges that the activists are facing in order to eradicate this, because it wasn't good.
Yes.
So from the figures that we learned on Monday, especially in Migori.
Yeah, it is still very sad that we still have to fight FGM in this era. And honestly, as human rights defenders, we usually have an unhappy task when it comes to trying to eradicate FGM, especially the way it's done. It's really traumatizing to a female child. So we've really tried, but in most cases you find that these people, this thing is practiced, but when you really try to uproot the people who caused this, they are old women and probably old men who do it. They are not brought into book. And at the end of it, there is kangaroo court that really affects us. You try so hard to bring these people to book, take them to court, and at some point, it just vanishes. Then number two cause we should have as Migori County, we should have a safe space for these the victims. So before they are victimized, they should be taken to a safe space. All female child of maybe certain age should just be taken to a safe space at that particular time. So I think these people will have no one to mutilate, and it will be a norm. But the biggest challenge is not taking them to book. That's our biggest challenge. Yes. If one or two women will be taken seriously and taken to court, it will be eradicated. I am very sure.
I don't know whether you've heard of this, that today, because there's a lot of championing on women, and men seems to be left behind, there are cases of people who pretend, especially ladies, like take this scenario. A lady moves with a guy, he's in love with this guy. Maybe she needs finance. She has known that this guy is, the pocket is heavy enough. He goes with this guy, and after maybe having an affair, they come out saying that she's raped. Have you come across these cases as a Mua mama? And how do you deal with them? Because in that case, it is very, very difficult. And to talk to people who are inside the bus, they will tell you that in the cells, they will tell you this was a consensual act. The only things changed when it came on money. She demanded money, and I was not able to give the amount of money that she wants. Now she has turned the case that she was molested, she was raped. Have you come across these cases? And in case you've come across those cases, how do you deal with such?
Okay, thank you very much. And maybe I would like to correct you that men are not left out. You're just quiet, or maybe you don't know how to. You know, women are very vocal when it comes to trying to find their rights.
I think it is the way we were brought up. You know,
Yes.
when you're a child, you're told,
You are
boys
a man,
don't
you're
cry.
strong. Yes.
Yes.
So yes, we've come across cases of rape, and honestly, it is really hard to prove rape, especially to older, you know, maybe, how do I call them? Female who have attained the age of sexual, you know. So when we talk of the conjugal and consent, consent is consent until that time I say no. Even if we were ready and I say no, the moment you forcefully get carnal knowledge to this woman, you have raped that person. So when it comes to court, or maybe the case has been brought to book, we always have to prove beyond reasonable doubt. And when I mean beyond reasonable doubt, we have to prove 99.9%. So you find that most of rape cases maybe don't go through. Why? Because when we try to find proof that we have to find the burden of proof that there was carnal knowledge in this lady, it will be hard, because we will try and figure out some scratches because while someone is truly raping you, you will struggle, and the evidence of struggle will be seen from the onset, from the scratches, from maybe the inner wears that she wore, you know, and even to the vagina, you know, there has to be proof. So most of these rape cases are never proven, because at the end of the day you find that there is no enough evidence to prove the same, especially when it is between two people who really know each other and they were in a consensual agreement until a certain point that now you disagree on maybe the amount. Yes.
So sometimes it becomes very difficult.
Yes, and most of the time you find that the man goes free because there was no evidence.
Let us get back to Amua Mama. I believe not so many people know about Amua Mama. What is in Amua Mama? What is Amua Mama championing for?
Okay.
At what point should somebody get to Amua Mama?
Okay, Amua Mama started in 2018. We have diverse information. People know about Amua Mama because of the services that we've offered to the community. And Amua Mama has a lot of programs that are run within it. As I said, it's a women-led organization, so that means we are advocating for the rights of women and children only.
Only.
Yes, and we will include men with time.
So will you change the name?
Yes.
Amua Mama, Amua Mama.
No, we will change the name
Amua.
to. We will yes, we will change the name to fit in.
So at what point should somebody reach out to Amua Mama?
Yes. As I said, we've been advocating against gender-based violence, and Amua Mama has been championing a lot. We do access to justice which means when there is a case or a matter, we help you through the court system. And we have legal aid, where we disseminate information to the community about their rights and how to deal with certain cases. And we also do empowerment. We also have mediation services, where there are some cases that do not really need to go to court, but it can be arbitrated from outside the court. Yes, so Amua Mama also does that. And our main program now that we are focusing on, we are doing empowerment. We have 25 women that are training on empowerment, so that they can be financially stable. So we teach them on financial literacy and also train them on dressmaking and a lot of small activities that can really help them move with their day-to-day lives.
So where do we get to find Amua Mama?
Yes, Amua Mama is, our offices are at Kababu, at the chief's camp or ward administrator's office, but we also have our safe space where our trainings are done along the Mihuru Nyabisawa Road and in Bondeni. That's where we have our safe space. That's where we meet women. That's where we disseminate information.
Now,
yes,
gender-based violence, especially femicide, is rampant in the Republic of Kenya. What do you have, your word to the leaders and your word to the general public about this, and how we can go about this to see that we bring it to an end?
Yeah, you've asked me a question that really was in my heart, because opening news, watching your TV, and all you hear is somebody was killed, somebody was butchered here and there. It's very sad, and it's equally very, very, very sad when our government is very silent about it, when they see it as normal killings. A normal killing happens once, maybe in months, but it's still bad. But now these are series of murder, and it's a series of murder of women. Women here, women there, women being butchered, and the latest was one that was boiled. So you wonder, whoever raped and boiled this woman, what was next? Did he want to turn her into a delicacy? Did he want to turn her into food? So this is very sad, and I would tell my community, and even the community, even Kenya as a whole, let's be brothers keepers. These are our daughters, these are our sisters, these are our wives, our mothers that we are killing. We are killing a society. We are bringing up a society of people who are inhuman. And to our government, I would like to tell them kindly, let's have this femicide, let it be a national issue. Let us not just talk about it, but act about it. And when somebody is brought to book and there is proof, let that person face what he should face. Let it not just disappear in thin air, and the case is still being investigated, and boom, nothing has happened. Murder is murder in any form. So our leaders, kindly, I would like to urge them to get out of their comfort zone, especially our women representatives. They are not talking about it. This is not a human rights issue. This is not an organization's issue or CSO's issue. This is a national issue. it should also involve the government. Yes.
I wish you could say a word on men who are dying in silence.
To our dear men whom are dying in silence, kindly come out, speak out, because a human is human, be it a man or a woman. Pain is the same. There is any pain that is inflicted on someone, it is painful. Kindly come out. Let's talk about these issues. Let's help each other and be anybody's keeper. Please do not keep quiet about it. It is not proper to be egoistic about pain. Let's come out and talk about it. Let the administration help men who come for help. Do not mock them, do not laugh about it, but kindly help them. Because at the end of the day, sorry Isaiah, these are the men who die of mental health. When you keep quiet about something that is paining or hurting you, the next thing we will hear that somebody has hanged himself. Somebody has now become numb. They don't talk anymore. Then what is next? They start having issues on mental health. So our men, please don't keep quiet. We love you and we want to have you by our sides.
Thank you so much. Now, before we wind up on what we have been discussing on gender-based violence, Vibrant Morning brings you news on actually what's happening and what happened. Now, let me just read for you a brief of what is in the People Daily newspaper on gender-based violence. Leaders now say, let us end wave of violence against women. The stories by Solomon Muingi and Faith Masharia. Taita Taveta leaders and lobby groups have raised concern over the increased cases of gender-based violence in the county. Now they want a coordinated approach towards stemming the heinous act that they said slowly gaining momentum in the society. Speaking while leading the launch of 16-day activism against gender-based violence in Voi Taita Taveta, Women Representative Lydia Haika underscored the need to fully eradicate the cases. Now, you can grab a copy of the People Daily newspaper and read more extensively as it is there in the newspaper. Remember, People Daily newspaper is a free newspaper. Just go to the vendor, pick your copy and read more comprehensively. Also remember to leave a comment. Just visit BTV Kenya, that is YouTube. Leave a comment so that we know where we are reaching you from. You can also visit Facebook page, Blackman TV Kenya, and also leave a comment. We are very much grateful for you keeping tuned to BTV. I'm your host, Gaga Isaiah, but I want to give Wakili Jen to end with a parting shot. Look into the camera.
Thank you. Parting shot. Let's work together to end violence. A family, an institution, a nation that applauds violence does not go anywhere. Let's help each other to end violence so that we can have a society that is free from violence and human rights free, where everybody has a voice, everybody can speak, and everybody can make a difference in this nation. Let's put a smile on each and everyone's face. Together, let's walk as we've begun the 16 days of gender-based activism. Let's be brothers and sisters keepers. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jen. Welcome.
Thank
Have a
you.
lovely day. Thank you, my dear viewers.
Thank you.